I'm Lisa Leitner. I am one of the best known advocates in the country, and I want you to check out Don't IEP Alone. I created Don't IEP Alone about 5 years ago. I've been a special education, award-winning special education advocate since 2010, and I created the online training in 2020, of course, because of the pandemic, and the pandemic allowed it to happen or facilitated this happening. My online training is the best that you're going to find, and I'm not just saying that because I created it. I have advocates and parents tell me this all the time. I just got an email yesterday from someone who says, oh, you came so highly recommended, and where can I find you, and all that. I want to show you what makes my programming different. So these are all the courses that I offer. When you buy my online advocacy training, you get the full course catalog, but I should clarify the full course catalog for parents. As you can see, I do have teacher products, and your purchase will not include the teacher products. Those are separate. However, you will get everything else. So that includes the professional advocacy portion and components of the program. If you never want to be a special education advocate as a profession, that's fine. Then, there's a couple of, few dozen modules in there that you never watch and you never use, and that's fine. However, it's there if you need it. You never know where life is going to take you. So you might want to come back and say, you know what, I think I do want to start my own business, or you might find yourself in an unemployment situation or needing to bring in some extra income. You just never know. So it's there if you need it. The other part is that when you purchase mine, you get lifetime access, which seems pretty unbelievable when you look at the price. You're like, how can she afford to give this to people for a lifetime? Well, I'm a very small business. It is just me, and I have a little bit of part-time help, but I don't have a giant agency to support. So that allows me to keep my costs down. And, that's something I pride myself on, because I've done trainings. I've done every training that's out there pretty much. And I hate when you go to a training, and whether it's online or in person, like you go and you do the training and it's valuable and all that, and then you go home and that's it and you're done. And if you have questions or if you have follow-up, like you can email the people and all that, but it's just not the same. My lifetime access, combined with the weekly chats during the school year, we do live chats on Thursday afternoons. And so, you can come back anytime and ask your question or talk over a situation with other advocates and other parents, or you can do more live training, because I'm adding to the training library all the time. And with the lifetime access, you're always welcome to come back. We do have parents in the program whose kids are 3 and 4 years old, and it just doesn't feel right to not give them lifetime access, right? Because they're not thinking about IEP transition and adult programs and things like that, but I want them to come back and do those. We have a whole series of IEP transition workshops, and I want those parents to come back and do those workshops so that the kids, have the best transition plans for them. My stuff is divided up into a bunch of different sections. So, of course, there's special education advocacy training. So this is a bundle. So this isn't a course. It just means that when you purchase this, you get the entire full course catalog. That does include the IEP toolkit. You get the behavior bundle, which is a series of workshops and courses and modules and things, just all focused on behavior, because that's pretty significant component of advocacy is helping parents navigate behaviors. Of course, I talked about the professional advocacy stuff. That is small business support. We talk about there's training modules in there about how to set your pricing and how to bill people, and I let my participants, they can swipe my contracts, and how do you find clients and things like that. When you're trying to start a new business, it can be a little overwhelming, and that's I don't want the cost to be overwhelming either, because the world needs more advocates. And I don't want somebody to be paying $2,000, $2,500, $5,000 to become an advocate, because it's a lot of money, and it takes a lot of client hours to recoup that money. And I want there to be more advocates in the world, because it's so desperately needed. But that is a component if you want to do that part of the program. So then the other part is that I have this section called deep dives. And a deep dive is just what it says, is that we do a deep dive into a specific IEP topic. And as of right now, you can see there are 36 of them, and there are more all the time. The other thing that is in the professional component is that on Thursdays, I want to say 3 or 4 times a year, I line up attorneys and other experts to talk to the group. So we've had some pretty fantastic attorneys talk to us about due process. I had a former OCR attorney. She did a training for us, which was pretty awesome. So that's, you can watch those attorney trainings even if you don't ever plan to become a professional advocate. You can go in there and you can watch those. Of course, there's the transition workshop series, which I already mentioned. There's a part on understanding IEP data collection. There's a whole section just on understanding IDEA and your parental rights. I don't want to read all of them to you, because I believe total there's I don't even know how many components if I added them all up. Again, I've been building this for 5 years, and that's another reason why I want you to have the lifetime access, is because it's growing, it's changing, especially now. Things are changing so fast. And we need to be able to talk about it. We need to be able to strategize. We need to be able to problem solve together. So I don't want you to take my training, 2 years ago, and then here we sit today and they're talking about dismantling the U.S. Department of Education. And you're like, what? Where do I go? Who do I talk to about this? You can come back to the training and talk to us about it. The professional advocates in my program, much like me, many of them have also taken other trainings and the other expensive trainings. And the other piece that makes my training different is that other trainings tell you the laws, they tell you the court cases, and it's important to know that, and that is a part of my training. But what I realized was missing from other training was that they didn't tell me how to apply those laws. I knew that I had all these rights. I knew that the law was on my side, but I didn't know how to apply it. That's what makes mine different, is that it's an actual strategy. And I share with you my strategy for moving your IEP team to yes. It's that simple. Advocacy is more important than ever. For as much talk as we have right now about dismantling the U.S. Department of Education, and that is serious, we have to remember that our IEP battles have always been at the state and local level. So all this talk about, okay, well, we're going to move it back to the states. It's always been to the states, right? The states have always had their departments of education, and including a division for special education. Our battles have always been at the state level. If you file for due process, it's the state usually, or who sends out the hearing officer, right? The federal government doesn't send out hearing officers. It's been at the state and local level. But it's going to be more important than ever that you understand your state laws and how to apply them to your situation, because I do believe that we're going to have fewer resources. I mean, that's just been a promise that, a threat, a promise, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to have fewer resources going forward. So advocacy is more important than ever. Anyway, I wanted to give you a little bit of a peek behind the scene. Please check out the page and see what all is there for you to, again, to join. If you want to join, I would love to have you there. And if you have any questions, you can please reach out to me at IEP@adayinourshoes.com. Thank you so much.